The number 14 is not a setting. It is a default a man picked in 1978. And almost every trader alive is still running it without ever asking why. You have probably watched the relative strength index sit above 70 for 2 hours, while price climbed the whole way, sold it because that is what you were taught, and then watched the move continue without you. That is not the indicator being wrong. That is the indicator answering a question you never asked it. No new tool, no paid script, 4 settings that matter, and the 4th is hidden behind a dropdown most traders have genuinely never opened. Do not skip to the numbers, because they only mean something once you know what this thing measures. That takes about 40 seconds, so let's get it done. This indicator compares the size of recent gains to the size of recent losses, and expresses the result on a scale that runs from 0 to 100. If every candle in the lookback closed higher, it pins near 100. If everyone closed lower, it sits near 0. Most of the time it drifts somewhere in the middle. That fixed scale is the whole personality of the tool, and it is what separates it from everything else on your chart. Because the scale has a ceiling and a floor, the reading always tells you where price sits relative to its own recent behavior. It is a measure of stretch, not a measure of direction. Quick thing first, the free trading guide is linked in the description. Grab it and supercharge your strategy. Setting 1 is the length, and it is the one that changes everything else downstream. The default is 14, and what that number decides is how many candles go into the comparison. Shorten it and the tool becomes hypersensitive. On a length of 7, the readings swing violently, hit the extremes constantly, and react to a move within a candle or two. Lengthen it to 21, and the line flattens out, rarely touches the extremes at all, and only speaks when something substantial has happened. Here is the part that surprises people when they actually test it. On the same price data, a length of 7 will reach an extreme reading roughly twice as often as a length of 21. Same market, same candles, one setting talking constantly, and the other barely talking at all. And the right length is not portable between markets. A slow-moving index and a violent crypto pair genuinely need different numbers, because the same length produces a completely different signal count on each of them. So which is right? That depends on what you want the extremes to mean. If you want overbought and oversold to be rare events worth acting on, go longer. If you are scalping and you want the tool to flag stretch quickly even at the cost of being early, go shorter. But understand the hidden cost of going long, because nobody mentions it. A longer length does not just reduce false signals, it reduces signals full stop. Push it far enough and the line stops reaching 70 or 30 at all, which quietly deletes the exact readings you were watching for. You have not made the tool more reliable, you have made it silent. Setting 2 is the source, and this is the first one most traders never touch. By default, the calculation uses closing prices only. That means everything that happened inside the candle is invisible to it. A candle that spiked violently to a new high and then sold all the way back down closes in roughly the same place as a flat, boring candle. The calculation sees the same number and treats them as the same event. You can switch the source to an average of the high, the low, and the close instead. Now, each candle's whole range feeds the reading, which makes it steadier on markets that wick hard. On a calm, orderly instrument, the closing price is cleaner, and this change just adds noise. On anything violent, it is worth testing, and testing costs you nothing. Setting 3 lives under a heading called smoothing, and there are 2 inputs there, a type and a length. By default, the type is set to none, which means what you see is the raw reading. Change the type to a simple or exponential average, and the platform draws a smoothed version of the line on top. The length controls how much smoothing. Why bother? Because the raw line is jagged, and a jagged line makes you second guess every wiggle. A lightly smoothed version keeps the shape of the reading while removing the twitch, so when it turns, you can actually trust the turn. If you pick the Bollinger Bands option instead, a third input appears for the standard deviation, and you get bands around the reading showing when the indicator itself is behaving unusually. That is a genuinely different way to use this tool, and almost nobody does it. Most traders have never opened that dropdown. Here is a concrete way to use it. With light smoothing applied, you can watch the raw reading cross its own smoothed line, the same way you would watch a moving average cross on price. That hands you a turn signal on momentum itself, and it fires earlier than waiting for the reading to travel all the way out to an extreme. Setting 4 is a checkbox labeled Calculate Divergence, and turning it on makes the platform mark divergences on the indicator for you automatically. Be careful with this one, and I will be straight with you. It is useful as a second pair of eyes, and it will absolutely catch divergences you would have walked past, but it flags every divergence it can find. including dozens that mean nothing at all, and in a strong trend it will light up constantly while the trend keeps running. Treat it as a highlighter, not a signal. Let me test you on this, because it separates people who understand the tool from people repeating numbers. 2 charts, same market, same session. On the first, the reading touches 70 or 30 11 times. On the second, twice. Which one is set up correctly? Neither, necessarily, and that is the whole point. 11 touches in a session means the length is far too short for how that market moves, and you are reacting to noise. But twice is not automatically better. If the second chart's length is so long that it never registered a genuine exhaustion point, you missed real information. The correct length is not a value you copy. It is a match between the tool and the market in front of you. And now, the thing that costs traders the most money, which is not a setting at all. It is what you believe 70 and 30 mean. They are not sell and buy signals. They never were. They are stretch readings, and in a strong trend, the reading can sit above 70 for hours while price climbs the entire way. Selling because it says overbought means shorting a market that is actively telling you it is strong. In a trending market, the useful reading is not the extreme. It is the middle. Around 50 is where pullbacks inside a trend tend to reset, which makes it an entry area rather than an exit signal. The extremes only become genuinely tradable when the market is ranging, and the reading is oscillating between them. There is one more level worth naming, and it is the one nobody draws. 50. 50 is the dividing line between gains dominating and losses dominating across your lookback, which means there is a rough trend filter hiding inside a tool everybody uses for something else entirely. When the reading spends its time between 50 and 80 and only dips to 50 on pullbacks, buyers are in control. When it lives between 20 and 50 and only rallies as far as 50 before rolling over, sellers are. That reframes the whole indicator. Instead of watching 2 extreme levels for signals, you watch which half of the range the reading lives in, and you trade in that direction. The extremes then become timing information inside a direction the 50 line already handed you, and it costs you nothing to set up, because that level is already on your chart. So there it is. The length sets how sensitive the whole thing is. The source decides whether wicks count. The smoothing type and length decide whether you are reading a jagged line or a trustworthy one. And the divergence box is a highlighter, not a trigger. What could that realistically do for you? Let's use arithmetic instead of a promise. Say you stop taking 2 counter-trend trades a week, the ones where you shorted into strength because the reading said overbought, and you were risking $150 on each. That is $300 a week you stop handing over, roughly $1,200 a month, before a single new trade makes you anything. The first money this makes you is money you stop losing. And here is where we go next. Settings tell you how the tool behaves. They do not tell you what to do when price and momentum start disagreeing with each other. So the next video is Divergence, the version that genuinely works and the version that quietly drains accounts. I'll see you there.